Ifeoma Nemeka. Mrs. Ifeoma Nemeka is a counselor. Glad to have you in the studio.
Thanks for having me. Good
morning.
morning.
All right, we also have Comrade Kanayo Obidibo. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you for having me this morning.
Now, let me begin with you, Mrs. Ifeoma Nemeka. We're looking at widening opportunities for the girl child. Any possibility?
We have, of course. You see, the things are changing. It's no longer the years where women are not allowed to explore opportunities, do the things they want to do just because they want to obey their parents or they want to get married and forget their dreams. No, you can still get married and pursue your dream. You can still become what you want to be. So times and things have changed.
All right, and why do you think we really need to widen this opportunity for the girl child?
The girl child is a woman that is resourceful. When you see a home that is functioning right, you know the brain behind it is a woman. So when she translates whatever she is doing in the home to other places, then you know that those people will benefit. The problem we have is once they get married, they are locked up and they feel they have fulfilled the greatest thing they came to do on earth, that is having babies and taking care of their children and their husband.
Don't you think that's a mindset that was actually created in them over the years and it still plays a big role
because
now?
Of the culture. No, the information is power. We lack information in some areas of our community. But if you see a girl child that is informed, she's ready to fly.
All right, Comrade, I would like you to come in now. You are a man, and probably you have a wife and you have a daughter. Tell us a little bit about the girl child.
You see, I see the phenomenon of girl child discussion in Nigeria as being timid, kind of. I don't know why we should be talking about girl child today when we go to the same school, and then most of our children, most girls are so brilliant that it is only, like she said, about cultural diversity that actually brings about that parents will not attach importance in actually training, developing the girl's child. And as a result of that, I have lived in America for some time. I know there's a caption that it is equal opportunity for you to be all you can be. Equal opportunity. And then, but presently, I actually doff my cap for when I look at number of candidates that applies to go to JAM, we find out that the girls are more in number.
JAM?
Yes, more in number. And then again, when you advertise a job, you find out that girls are more in number too these days here in Nigeria. So that shows that this girl child issue is taking a back bench over time because of the education that our children are acquiring at the moment. Look at the girls, those that went to California, the girls that from Onitsha that went to California. You see, they are girls from homes. So I am now actually advising parents to know that a child is a child. There's no important intention as the male child or the girl child. To me, I don't have any distinction.
Let me come to you now. What do you understand when we talk about gender equity, gender equality, and women empowerment?
Oh, you see, when you compare it with the male,
is there a difference between any
a
of them?
lot.
Okay.
In the workforce, in the workplace, in the pay, in the choice of career, we have a lot of inequality. Even, yes, Comrade is saying the girls are coming forth in education. But what happens in the workplace? What kind of career are they towing? Are they pushed to do a lesser kind of career It's just now that you start seeing women going into engineering, going into aeronautic, space thing. Initially, they feel all I need to do is just get educated, do this lesser thing. You've not heard when a man gets married to a banker or a woman that is a career woman, she will tell her, you can't continue with this job once we get married. Please, the children. You see, there is a lot of inequality, even in the pay. Most women, when they go for a job and they negotiate, they will say, Ingwelo Kanya. Do you understand? But when a man negotiates, it's okay. So, anyway, so many things that need to come together. We need to bridge it. So we still have a lot of inequality.
The world is the men's world anyway.
No, it's not.
No, but Beyonce thinks otherwise. Then she says women run the world, right?
Of course.
Okay, but let me come to this question. Violence against women and girls is a big concern we know in the world. Is there anything we can do to curb it?
The first thing we need to do, and I don't know why we are not thinking, the way we portray women in this culture is terrible. Have you listened to music recently? Who do you see there? You see, they look at them as a sexual thing. That is the problem. The mindset. And these young children are growing and they're watching the television. And they're seeing that, okay, this girl, okay, I'm only good for this kind of thing. The guy is well dressed. The woman is the one naked, dancing. You see, what we do, there is the girls that go through the streets in the night, dressed differently, asking for customers. So we need to do a kind of reorientation. You are bigger than what you are doing. You are bigger than that dance. You are different. God has put so much in you to showcase to the world. Why will you mortgage yourself or limit yourself? Why will you allow the society to make you a sexual thing? We are bigger than this.
With what you're saying, how can we then make sure the girls know the consequences of what they do in terms of sex and pregnancy?
Information. Most of these girls lack information. They don't even understand the purpose. That is it. Why am I here?
Okay, now, Kanayo Obidibo, when we were talking, you said something about these 5 girls that went for Technovation. And recently, their teacher was in my daughter's school. They want to start nurturing these children from small primary school. Now, widening opportunities for the girls. We know opportunities abound. What kind of opportunities are we looking at here?
Okay, now, you see, I'm happy you mentioned one of the teachers of the school that visited your daughter's school, probably to talk to them. That is what we call career counseling. In career counseling, you let people know, you direct the kids at their formative age of what they will attain in life. Like she said, those 5 girls, they are like role models now in our society. Because if you have a daughter and she has seen, yes, she watched them on television and she looked at herself, probably they are about the same age. She will ask herself some questions. Why am I naturally not doing the same thing with it? She will not have that aspiration in her. However, the law, the government, legislation should be involved. Not only that, then there should be an institution, like she said, that will actually tell the girl child that it's important that you develop yourself, more especially in rural areas, because in our rural dwellers don't actually, cope with the urban dwellers. So a stage has come that, like you said, women of their own mind are talking about their affirmative actions.
All right. Now we are looking at this 5 girls, the golden girls,
yes,
Technovations that went to US as a reference point.
Now,
one, they've had this opportunity to be in the US, which they've never dreamt of in their life. Now, one thing is having this opportunity. The next is continuing, In what ways do you think these girls could, you said that they are now on a reference point, people look up to them for so many things, and Not just going there and coming back.
Okay, now.
You know, where do we take them from here?
In developed clime, people like that are like special girls. There's a kind of examination our children take in America. They call it All Americans. All Americans is to set up an exam for gifted children that will go on scholarship. Okay, like they are now, they should be awarded scholarship to different universities for them to continue. And that is an encouragement. If by tomorrow, University of Nigeria, University of Lagos, Ibadan, gives them, each one of them, scholarship and it is announced, their fellow students will say, so these girls could be offered such an opportunity because they were able to do this. And then that gives you an, a motivation for you to study hard, and then it will then trickle down that way, that people will try to emulate them.
Still talking on this guy. It looked as if it was because the governor himself, Governor Obiano, stepped in that made people even hear. Now, we have this thing in Nigeria, when we talk about the girl child, even when they get to do great exploits, we don't give a hoot. We don't care. These girls actually did this when this was really on, But what they did, it looked as if nobody really talked about it until the governor came up and hey, these people have done so well. We have to encourage them. We have to pursue them. What do you think is responsible for such mindset here in this part of the world?
It's a lack of involvement of governance. Governor Obiano has tried. We have a lot of girls wallowing in our localities who have not been recognized, who would have been a role model for their mates. But we thank God the government had to encourage these ones. And because of that, so many young girls are motivated. You don't go to any school now without calling their name. If you really want to do your career counseling or motivation topic, studies, you must call their name because they are a reference point. Somebody made it happen. So we encourage the government, the chairman, the councillors to go into the localities.
Okay, this was globally. It was actually a global thing.
Yes.
And even when the governor did what he did to support those girls, even when they came back, there was no standing ovation for them.
Yes.
I remember it's the MD of ABS. Fortunately, he was actually coming back from the States then, met them at the airport and did an interview. Yes. So it looks as if we really don't even care when the girl child tend to do something spectacular in the country.
Mm-hmm.
You see, we have actually said that our educational institutions have been so much underfunded in the budget. You see, and I don't know why Nigeria doesn't attach importance to such girls' child development. We have heard about the affirmative actions. The women went to Benji, they came back, and I think the civil society organization that actually highlights most of these things should be involved. But, everything depends on funding. And the funding for publicity is that, like you said, the MD saw them and they were able. The school couldn't even afford to put them on the spotlight that we have done this, we have done that. But ordinarily, government should take more interest. I'm talking about the Nigerian government. I'm talking about the Federal Ministry of Education, because these girls actually were good ambassadors of education in this country. So, they went out, there was a competition between them and the other nationalities, and they emerged on top. So that alone.
All right, away now from, the academic, and, we have so many other works that could be done. Now, madam, in what other ways, do you think a girl child could be encouraged to go in to become what she ought to be?
Massive enlightenment programs using women. When Dora Akunyili was here, a lot of women were motivated because we saw her doing what I want to do. Okay, we all have other women in politics who are also doing something. Now, when we use these women for this enlightenment program, it will do a lot of good for these girls. Assuming I'm going to a school for a career counseling, and I ask you to come along, and you talk to this student, the girl child will be motivated. I want to be like this auntie. Do you understand? And that's why when I'm doing anything, I want to bring in the women that are successful so that they will be motivated and not say, my life ends in the kitchen. Oh, my life ends once I get married. There's so many. I met recently a young girl who got pregnant because of poverty. And when I interviewed her, I discovered she has this wonderful motivation to succeed, even with her condition. And I looked at her and said, our government needs to do something about this kind of people, because she stopped halfway. She had just 1 year to complete her education. But because no money, nobody was spending for her.
All right. Now, what about skill acquisition that we have around? Because most times you see all these children, okay, these are, I think this is in a school, they're learning sewing. You know, some go into different other kinds of skill acquisition.
Yeah.
Comrade, could you quickly react to skill acquisition for our girls?
In actual fact, most schools are now coming up with this skill acquisition. And on a wider range, they talk about entrepreneurship. That when you leave school or when you want to leave school, that if you have learned 1 or 2 trades, you could start supporting before you look for either government job or white-collar job, as the case may be. But if you have actually, while in the school, like we did, we went to GTC Oka, where we are doing on every Wednesday, we will leave, when I was in primary school, we will leave the school to GTC to do some woodwork, some doing metal work. That was what we were doing then. That was in primary school, not even in secondary school. That every Wednesday, and some different schools in Oka, they had their dates of actually going there to learn those skills. And we were learning. There was one I made where I put my pen. It was like a tripod. So I still cherish that stuff until the war came, and then I lost it. Otherwise, I kept it for a long time because it was a craft I did while I was in primary 3, 4.
Okay, now there's something that just came to mind, Ifeoma. There's a sister, you know, the daughter is in school, and they went on strike. So I was kind of quarreling with her. Why should you allow her to be at home? She should at least walk down the street and learn all this sewing.
That's right.
She said she was feeling somehow. So actually, I don't know, some of her parents, you know, maybe they don't want their kids to be to learn tailoring, you know, because she is in the university. That was a practical example that I saw. What's your take, and what do you tell parents about that?
In Ghana, you don't have a university degree without a skill. And that is one thing we parents in Nigeria should know, that a girl or even a boy must have a skill. There is nothing wrong with your daughter. I have seen medical doctors doing something else, and they will tell you they want to follow this. You know, in my home, all my children must have a skill. The first daughter has started. She has a box, she keeps her money. She makes hair. She wants to do, she bakes for her classmates. And I'm encouraging her to do so much. She makes all these kind of beads.
Yeah, that's true. Because my little boy in Enugu is in JS3. When I went, tomorrow is his birthday, but the last time I was here, he gave me a kind of aloe vera that I should spread it in my car, that a concussion they were taught
of
how
course.
to make. Yes, and
Yes.
he was smelling, the aroma was fantastic. And then again, he weaved with this nylon thread, he is making a bag that he said, I have to take that bag when he finished the bag. They are in UNN.
No, this is fantastic. How do we bring this back to the school?
You see?
No,
Because
most
the truth
schools
is-
are doing that now. But the problem is doing it well. They just started.
You know, because I remember back then, you know, you remember MAMSA, mass mobilization.
Yes.
You know, I remember I learned that was where I learned how to make hair. And so people will you know, do underwears, they buy lace materials and stuff like that. So, you know, what encouragement are we giving our parents, you know, to really key into that? Because they need to encourage these girls because they are closer.
Every child needs to learn a skill. It is very important. If you look at it now, we have so many graduates in Anambra State. And so somebody made a comment and said, graduates, keke, but the job of a graduate now. But I keep telling people something. There is no need to put yourself in a square, you know, just
close up.
Yes. You discover who you are. Adversity has an advantage. You must learn something for tomorrow. And let me tell you, if you join in that call right now, they are a few in number. And because of that, their prices you cannot afford.
Yeah, that was true, because I'm making a dress for my friends in the US, and a woman dressed for 17,000 naira.
17 is
just
cheap.
To make the dress. I was there on Saturday for 17,000 naira because of the style and the beading and all that.
So we should encourage them.
You see?
Parents should know that education is one thing for you to get enlightening and to discover really who you are and your purpose in life. Then when you now discover who you are, learn a skill to support that education. There is something we call multiple competences. And even in the Bible, it said we must make money through several ways.
All right, let's see who's here before we go on. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, your name and location.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Oh, we lost him.
Before we go, because time is really not our friend, let's talk about the girl child, young girls, and early marriage. It looks as if it's something prevalent in Africa and some other countries.
Yes.
How do we talk to those girls to know? Because a lot of girls, now when we talk about sensitization, most of the young girls coming away, you know what, let me get to 15, 16 and just get married and start living life. You know, most of them are not thinking about
orientation.
Developing themselves.
Like here in Oka, at least we've passed that stage. But when you go to Anambra West and Anambra East, 15 years, they're married.
Okay, orientation. Now,
yes.
I would want us to really touch the challenges these girls could face in widening their opportunities and, of course, the way to go. You give us the challenge and the way to go. Sorry, some really
money.
Because of time.
We have poverty. There is a factor because they want to go further, but there is no money. Information. They lack information. Where would they get the information? I want to do this, but I cannot because I lack information.
All right.
Ignorance.
Okay. The way forward.
The way forward, I must suggest to the government, I'm talking about the federal government, in quote, that there should be an institution put in place by the Minister of Education, that there should be motivational speakers being assigned to schools to go and talk to them periodically on issues of what your talent or what you will become tomorrow. I know when we were growing up, some of us were saying, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a doctor. Some ended up not being the doctor. However, we need, because it was when I went to Britain, I found out that, this position of career counselor. And I was able to counsel the last guy in my house, and he is a lawyer, about 23 years today, because I counseled him.
Amazing. All right, you can go on and on, but I believe we will get there someday. Our society will get better, but that not without all hands being on deck. Would like to thank you very much, Mrs. Ifeoma Nemeka, for coming this morning.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Well, so thank you so much, Comrade Kanayo Obidibo, for your time.
Thank you for having me.
And we also thank you, the viewer. Thank you so much for being there, and all those that tried to call but couldn't get through. Not to worry. Tomorrow is another day. My name remains Nonye Mokoye. Thank you so much.
And I'm a bearer. We're going well, just to let you know, at 9 o'clock, the news on the will be coming your way. And of course, Sports Today will be taking center stage at 9:15. Many thanks for joining us. Good morning.